guest, and kind of a highlight of this show today is Ivic Mueco. She is Managing Director for Optum Global Solutions. And this is healthcare, one of the key segments that really is leading in Philippines. And Philippines has distinguished itself as certainly a global leader in this segment. And Ivic's operation at Optum, this is certainly by far the largest and most significant operation of this. Ivic is busy. She has 20,000 people employed in Philippines and also responsible for growing operations in Colombia, Puerto Rico, and probably others. I first saw Ivic in action when she was many years with the Convergys organization. She previously ran the country's largest private sector employer, a gargantuan and very high quality operation. So a special guest, please welcome Ivic Mueco of Optum Global Solutions. So glad to have you, Ivic.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here, Richard. First off, thank you for the opportunity to address my fellow members in the industry and some other industries in the Philippines. As you know, healthcare has been seen as rapidly evolving industry, with the recent pandemic putting even more emphasis on the importance of keeping up with these changes. Allow me to share what's been happening from our global IT BPM industry. There were changes brought about by the pandemic, altered client needs and demands. It modified prevailing work models and accelerated digital transformation. The industry has been very resilient despite these changes and adversities, estimating to have delivered a growth of headcount between 7 to 8% and revenues by 8 to 13% in 2021, where your biggest contributors were the IT sector, creatives, and then healthcare. What's driving the accelerated growth in this sector? Certain BPM segments will continue to grow, like insurance, life sciences, HRO, FAO, analytics, and healthcare. As the industry grows, the most in-demand roles will continue to be in the customer service space, IT, data and analytics, finance, and then again, healthcare. In healthcare, the emerging sub-segments are being seen in the areas of care management, risk adjustment, and member engagement. The IT BPM sector will continue to be an economic pillar, and healthcare will play a major contributor to that. In CCAP's latest report, healthcare information management was seen as one of the biggest and fastest growing offshore location for the healthcare payer outsourcing, backed by a large pool of medical professionals, including US licensed nurses, and growing capabilities in high-value services like clinical research, analytics, again, and life sciences. Innovations in technology, new trends in illness and treatment, the exponential growth of healthcare data and research, constantly shifting patient and healthcare provider demographics, changing policies, industry policies. We need to keep up with all of these if we want to continue to deliver excellent healthcare services. And as this space evolves, Optum, being the largest healthcare information management company in the Philippines, will continue to evolve with it. For us, one of the best ways to do this would be to invest in our talent. For those of you in our audience who are not yet familiar with Optum, Optum is a leading health services company, and we are part of an even bigger enterprise called the United Health Group. United Health Group has consistently been part of the Fortune 500 list. Last year, we were ranked as part of the top 5, together with the names of Walmart, Amazon, Apple, and CVS. Here in the Philippines, we have grown from 52 employees in 2011 to 19,000 and approaching 20,000 strong workforce in 2021, spread across 4 sites in the country. We're in Taguig City, Quezon City, Alabang, and Cebu. Our capabilities and services include business processing, clinical, and technology services. Optum, in the healthcare ecosystem, is the line that connects everything together. We make sure that transactions and interactions between member and medical care providers go very smoothly. From patients inquiring about their benefits to getting treatments approved to post-care critical care services, we are with them on their journey from illness to wellness. So when you look at this spectrum of services that is provided by Optum, and at the back of that is Optum Global Solutions, it becomes super critical insofar as talent is concerned, right? We're not just looking we're not looking into basic customer care type transactions. I think we're beyond that now. The call types are more complex. And then on the clinical side of the house, we hire doctors and Philippine licensed nurses and U.S. licensed nurses, as well as high end, not high end, but more really highly complex medical coding practitioners. And again, this is why Optum puts emphasis in upskilling and building capability for its talent. Our people, like all of us, realize that and continue to believe that people are our competitive advantage. We have multiple initiatives in place to ensure that they don't feel like they just have a job here, but a fulfilling career. And as we're putting people first at the center of everything we do, that is how we make an impact, whether it is with the people we serve or the people we work side by side every day. At Optum, we have an expansive wealth of learning content that is constantly updated so that we can be kept abreast with the advances in the industry. The USRN Academy, as an example, is an online self-paced training program for Optum nurses. It enables them to transition from Philippine licensed nurses to a US licensed nurse in a short span of 26 weeks. On their own, this is time consuming and not to mention an expensive endeavor. With the help of Optum, they're able to achieve this at no cost and schedule it accordingly based on their availability. To date, we have upskilled 400 Philippine licensed nurses to become US licensed nurses. Another talent initiative that we have is the virtual reality enabled learning program that allows employees to have immersive experiences to practice decision-making skills in high-risk clinical environments. It employs cutting-edge learning technology that allows us to continue strengthening and building in the domain knowledge of our nurses while doing it all from the comfort of their homes. Experiential and interactive, it provides our nurses with hands-on experience in diagnosing and prescribing treatments, resulting in more accurate patient care decisions and collaboration with a multidisciplinary teams. We invest in technology like VR-enabled training to make the learning experience dynamic and stimulating for our employees. Finally, I am also proud to share our RN Ready Plus program. RN Ready Plus is a corporate social responsibility project of Optum that partners with various academic and medical institutions where we will be providing nursing students and working nurses with online and on-demand courses to help with their career development. This training program is offered for free. For those enrolled in the program, It leverages advanced technology for learning, including digital content, virtual reality, and you can stream the content anywhere you are in the Philippines. Optum's first partner for this program is the Angeles University Foundation in Pampanga. We are excited to give back to the country, to our community, and we are looking forward to partnering with those schools and medical institutions to bring this program to those who need it the most. The Filipino talent has always excelled on the global stage, and we will tirelessly work to keep them shining. Because our people, our key differentiator, we are committed to pouring our best resources into continuously training and upskilling them, thus preparing them for the future. Thank you very much.
That is fantastic, Ivic. And now, Ivic, you've worked in many countries. I know in the past you spent a lot of time in China, India, the U.S., America. Are there other countries where the for healthcare are as strong as it is in Philippines? Philippines seems like it's got a good group of people, nurses, doctors, and so forth. Are there others that can compare in your what you've seen, Ivan?
Maybe not at scale, but surely they're catching up. So Puerto Rico may not be a different country, right? Insofar as the Philippines is concerned, insofar as the U.S. is concerned, but it is, we're there. They have the talent. Also, there's a cost differential between the U.S. and Puerto Rico. We've also just set up our Colombia operations. From the get-go, they're performing really well. They don't have the breadth and depth of the services that the Philippines has right now from a healthcare perspective. But, there's a lot of support from government. The talent is there. It's just really a question of exposing them to the work. But, we're very, I personally am very optimistic with how we're growing Colombia in the healthcare space, right? I think Colombia is a market by, Bogota, you go to Medellin, they have a growing BPO market, but I think we're one of the first in terms of establishing, healthcare services, and so far as the BPO segment is concerned.
Absolutely, and one of the first also to really develop, global senior leaders like you. I got to say, Ivic, it's nice to hear Filipinos going around the world, bossing people around and opening operations. So that's very impressive. Now, we keep hearing that healthcare is this growing segment of offshoring and these kinds of things, and it is extremely exciting. Is that a bit melodramatic, do you think, or is the opportunity ahead as strong as that?
I think there's a lot of opportunity. It's not melodramatic. It's there's a lot of opportunity to do work, to bring the work, whether it's in India, in the Philippines, or other parts of the world. I think for the Philippines, it's really how do we take advantage of that, right? And then talent becomes a key differentiator for us because the work that is being done is more is going up the value chain versus the work that we used to do, and we continue to do great work in the customer service space. But even when I look at the customer service space right now, Richard, the transactional types are not as present as before. The call types are more complex now. I mean, 20 years ago when we were all starting, it's where's my bill, where's my order. But now, it has changed tremendously over the years.
Absolutely. And roles like yours really are making the difference. These are so sticky jobs and jobs so high valued. It's really exciting. Now, one thing, since you are known as such a high quality employer, I mean, sometimes the risk is, you tell me, is that the good people from the healthcare industry join you rather than, doing healthcare services for people in Philippines. Is the talent pool large enough for you to grow and still, people in Philippines have good nurses and doctors? Is that, I hope I'm not out of line asking that, but you do so much to be such a high quality employer. You have to balance that a little bit, don't you?
Yes, we do. But
Okay.
the local medical institutions, as well as ourselves, we're not necessarily competing with each other. So if
Okay.
you think about the programs that we have, it is either in partnership with the academic institutions or in partnership with the medical institutions. When you think about the healthcare space, right, and growth, our growth because of the kind of the work that is done, these are not going to scale to the likes of 10,000 or 20,000.
Okay.
Right. These are because we're so used to that, right? For example,
Yes.
in Convergys, we would grow by 6,000 or 10,000, or I think now
Yes.
Concentrics is probably growing the same pace, but the growth right now is a bit tempered. So
Okay.
there's enough talent. The question really is there enough qualified talent? So upskilling is necessary. So there's a lot of partnership that's going on. And our main competitor really is people leaving the country to look for to look for jobs. Mostly in the US when you think about the nurses, and I applaud them for that. So we need to expand the talent market. We need to make sure that the graduates from the nursing academies or nursing schools are able to find jobs, whether they want to stay in the Philippines or go to the US. So we're not necessarily competing.
Yes, that's true. And you are, like you said, upskilling a lot. But yeah, I was wondering about your US qualified nurses, whether they would, some would leave, and I guess some will, but I guess that is an acceptable opportunity for both sides. Ivic, thank you so much. I know you are so busy with your global operations, but it was so important to have you here to talk about this, because we really respect the work you've done at Convergys in the past and now with Optum. When I first heard that you were going to leave Optum, I thought, oh, thank goodness, now that industry is in good hands. So thank you again, Ivic Mueco. Really, really nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much, Richard.